Like, it's a female dog. You're calling each other a female dog. Hey, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I am here and I'm going to be I'm just going to be unpacking what this quote, this meme had to say. I came across this meme on Facebook and it just kind of hit me hard. And it was something that I have always thought, but I wasn't able to explain it as eloquently as Miss Frances did. So when I came across that meme, I was like, oh, wow, I have to do a video and I have to discuss what she said. With that being said, let's get to it. So before we move on, I want to make sure that you hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, go ahead. I don't even know what you're waiting on. Like, I literally don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell. The notification bell will let you know when I post videos and you'll be in the first to know, right? And as you can see from the hashtag road to 1,000, I am on a road to 1,000 subscribers and you can help me get there. You can help me get there by clicking the subscribe button. First of all, notification bell, watching this entire video, and liking and sharing. Those are very easy and free things that you can do. With that being said, let's get into the conversation. So, first of all, like I said, I was on Facebook and I'm going to take that away while I set it up because I want to read about who she is, because honestly, I didn't even know who this person was. She has passed on, but her words have definitely ring true. And she passed away in 2016, but it is 2020, and guess what? It's still relevant in 2020. So I want to have a conversation about it. And when I read it immediately, I was like, bingo. It's a thought that I have had for many, many years. And I just could not package it the way Miss Frances did. So again, Miss Frances, who is she? So I looked her up because I didn't know who she was. I want to make sure that who I'm quoting and who am I talking about, I want to make sure that it's legit, that she said it, that this is a legit person. So I looked her up, and what I found out was that her name is Frances Welsing. She was born in March, but she died, like I said, January 2016. She was an American Afrocentric psychiatrist. She wrote plenty essays. She was published. She was basically the subject matter expert, one subject matter expert when you talk about racism and white supremacy. There's a theory called the Cress theory of color, confrontation, and racism and white supremacy. She offers her interpretation of the origins of what is being described as white supremacy. Very interesting. I have to admit that I have never read her books. I honestly didn't even know about her. But that quote struck me. Like I said, she died in 2016. A lot of her works were obviously before then, but it's now 2020 and it still is relevant to me. I don't even know if she's someone that obviously she's somebody I probably should have known. I don't know, but either way it goes, let's get into what she said. So this is the meme. This is the meme that was on my friend's timeline. And I'm telling you, I was just like, whoa, okay. We're the only people. And so she's an Afrocentric psychiatrist. So obviously she's talking about African Americans or people of color. We're the only people on this entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise our demeanment. Wow. I'm a bitch, I'm a hoe, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, I'm a dog. If you can train people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever. You can even program them to kill themselves and they won't even understand what happened. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I just had to have a moment of silence just from reading that. That was so heavy, so heavy. To my white friends, my multicultural friends, and everyone, I just encourage you to hang in there. Stay in this video. Stay in this video because you can learn something. Just as I am learning something, I'm sure there's something that you can learn. As much as I am probably going to be I'm going to be talking in general, but not necessarily to a specific people. But because I am Black and I know that she's speaking about Black people, I can't help but focus my conversation to them. But there will be some, I'm pretty sure I'll say something that, number one, will be a light bulb moment for you. Wow. So let's just break this down. I'm going to break this down and I'm just going to give my opinion. Hopefully you can leave a comment and let me know what you think about what she said. Leave a comment down below. And it doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree with me. I would love to hear from you. And I would love to move this conversation further. The first thing she says is, we're the only people in the entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise our demeanment. And I must admit, like, that was the first line. And again, this is something that I've always thought of. As much as I love the African-American culture and influence that we have on America and everything, I shudder, and I'm sometimes I'm embarrassed, but also sometimes, for lack of a better term, I think that we're more than what the media portrays us. There's more to us. So it's kind of annoying when there's a news story of a father walking their kid to school, and it's great big news. And I'm like, I know plenty of Black men. My husband takes the kids to school. He walks the kids to school. My brother, like, listen, this is common in our community. But when the media, when the music, books and media and music is inundated with images, I'll just leave it at that. Images and lyrics and different things that definitely demean women, men, family, family values. When you have that, those lyrics and those images, it completely undermines what our reality is. And as she said, we're going to unpack it a little bit later when she says it. I don't think people understand how you're actually ingesting that, and whether it's subliminally or not, you're demeaning yourself. You know, it's just like the infamous N-word. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I have never said it, or said it in the way that Black people have kind of owned that word and turned it around. Absolutely, I have. But at the same time, as soon as it may come out my mouth, I'm immediately shook, like, okay, why did you just say that? Like, why did you just say that in that way? Yes, you're joking, and yes, it's a part of our banter as our culture. But at the same time, if one of my good friends said that to me, I would have a major problem. I would have a major problem. Like, you're not calling me that, but yet jokingly we call each other that within each other. So that's one part of the conversation. But like she said, we're the only people who we sing and we praise our demeanment. And the first thing she said is, I'm a bitch. And that's the thing, like, that is something that is so common. That is one term that for me is not something that how I address my children, and it's not how I address other women. Like, hey, B, like, that's not me. That's not what I do. Now, if that's what you choose to do, leave a comment down below and let me know what that means to you. Is it the same thing how the African American community have taken the N-word and just kind of turned it around? For me, you're not addressing me like that. Like, my name is Melissa. You know, you can kind of say, hey, girl, hey, or whatever. But, you know, in that arena, it's like, no, because we don't, and I know we mean well, but I'm not quite sure we understand the lasting psychological effects. And she's an expert. I'm not an expert. And that's why I was so happy to come across this meme with this quote, because she was able to package it the way I could not say it intelligently, other than saying the way I would say it. We're more than that. And that's what I would always say, man, we're more than that. I cringe when all I see is, you know, twerking videos and all this other stuff, because there's a long history of just demeaning Black women and just, what's the word? Just making them sex symbols and objects. And then we reinforce that idea. From slave masters to I forgot the late Sarah, I forgot her last name, but the Sarah person that she ended up being in a museum because of her body. And when I look at her body, I'm like, heck, her body looks like my body. And they held her, and they literally held her like she was an animal, like she was an anomaly. And I feel like we need to treasure our body. We need to treasure who we are. Should we twerk? Absolutely. Do I twerk? Absolutely. Absolutely. But are we about that more than what's in the media more? And or intelligence? That's the question at hand. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Now, I know among my friends and among my timelines, I know what I see, but at the same time, what does society see? What does society see? So as she said, to sing I'm a bitch, like, what are we saying? What are we really saying? I tell you what, we have more people saying I'm a bitch and greeting each other like that than hey queen, hey girl. You hear more of the meaning, and as much as I enjoy twerking and reality TV and different things like that, it's also very concerning. It's very concerning because, like I said, is it balanced? Is it balanced? And are we showing who we are with our rich history, with our rich bodies, with our rich minds? So she says, I'm a bitch, I'm a hoe. Again, we sit up here. I mean, yes, it's a bop, and I'm guilty of it. Like I said, as a matter of fact, my cousin and I, we were talking last night, and she was like, no, this morning, and she was saying she was watching a video from her childhood, and she couldn't believe that she was allowed to watch that song, watch this movie. And then I was like, yeah, but also what about the songs? Like, I think now I listen to the R&B and different songs that was being played, and I was just singing to it, and I had no idea what I was singing. But it also, to bring the conversation to what we're talking about, we're bopping to something that is completely demeaning. It's not only demeaning to women. There's kings out there. There's black men. There's white men. There's Chinese. There's Asian. There's so many people that have more to offer than what we're portraying in the media. And so I love the way she brings that conversation. And I guess that's why she's the doctor. Like I said, it took me back because I was so happy to be able to read an educated, formulated thought beyond the way I would just say it, which the way I would just say it is, man, we're better than this. We're better than this. And I know some people will get it. Some people will be like, your team too much. And some people will get this and be like, right on. I feel you. And to my white brothers and sisters and people of different color, you gotta, if I see it as a person of color, I know you see it as, and it has to be confusing. I know it has to be confusing. Even with the N-words, I'm telling you, you can't call me that, but then in certain aspects of our community, whether I do it or not, that there are other Black people calling each other that. So when your kid does it to my kid, I get pissed. But really, should I? Yeah, don't try it. But it's the same thing, with the bitch and like, who started that? Hey, bitch, like, it's a female dog. You're calling each other a female dog. I'm a hoe. We know what that means. The lyrics and everything. And again, I'm not saying that we should walk around being prudes and not enjoy entertainment or even have adult content. I'm not saying that. I think for me, the biggest part of that is our society is so inundated with that we've not only programmed ourselves, and I'm just speaking in general, because a lot of this probably won't apply to myself or my friends, but for the sake of conversation, we've programmed ourselves to see ourselves this way. How on earth do you think that you will find value in the community if this is the way you are speaking to and about each other? Which leads the conversation to Black on Black crime. So she says, I'm a hoe, I'm a gangster. Again, and these are very common lyrics, and these are very common themes in the music. Like, I can pull up music. The lyrics are in the music today are filled with this theme. Everyone wants to be a hoe. Everybody wants to be a gangster. So much so when someone sings about something completely opposite, let's be honest, they're not hitting the charts, to the top of the charts. They're not getting to the top of the charts. It's the person that oh, I'm popping mollies, I'm doing this, and don't get me wrong, I'm bopping to them too. I'm bopping to the songs too, and I'm conflicted. But at the same time, we blame it on the fact that it's a good beat. But then I encourage us. I have a question for us. I have a charge for us. Can we move past the beat? Can we move past the reality TV? I sit in awe sometimes. I'm like, not because these women aren't beautiful. These are beautiful, intelligent women, but not only, they're women my age or older, often behaving like a bunch of 3-year-olds who don't know how to do not have the skill set, the vocabulary, the emotional and physical development to handle conflict for $1. Am I guilty of watching it? Absolutely. Do I think that all of them are like that? Absolutely not. There's some people that are representing the reality TV set. Absolutely. But guess what? Do they last long on the reality TV show? No. They're told they're boring. They don't have longevity on reality TV because they don't bring enough drama. What would happen if we change the narrative and we just say, you know what? That's not who we are. And it's too much of that that's being portrayed and is reinforcing and praising our demeanment, that I'm not going to participate in that. What will happen? Because here's what I know, whether people want to admit it or not. We are valuable members of society, Black people, African Americans, however you address yourself. We are valuable members of society. But my question is, what are we giving people to the point where people like myself, or it just in different arenas, we've all heard different things. Oh my goodness. You speak well for a Black girl. Or I've heard from Black people, you're sounding white. You talk white. Because I'm not all like this and that, like, really? Now I can go there, but that's not the bulk of who I am. I can conjugate a verb. I can speak in complete sentences. And again, my question is, are we praising our demeanment in the name of, I want to be entertained? Because while you're being entertained and you're going home as a queen, society, we're not in Wakanda. This is not Wakanda where it's just us and no one, and you can clown and no one knows or sees. Other cultures, other people, they are picking up these signals and they're like, oh, and anybody, and let me know, leave a comment down below if you know that this happens to us more often than not. What ends up happening is, I mean, I'll go to the makeup store and literally the girl, she may as well say, hey, bitch, what you looking for? Like, she may as well, because that's how she addresses me. And I'm like, okay, why can't you just say, hello, welcome to Sephora. How are you doing? You don't got it. And girl, what you looking for? You don't have to get like that with me. Why do you get that like that with me? Why do you assume that we're all like that? So is it substantiated? Do you see the evidence of what she's talking about? And I have to say, I do. I always have. I'm so grateful for her as the expert. That's why we have experts. So grateful for her as the expert because she was able to put together and formulate an educated and substantiated thought that I was not able to do. And like I said, for me, I would just go, man, we're better than this. And I love the entertainment. I love that. I mean, I'm telling you, we are some of the funniest people. We are, rhythm and entertaining. Absolutely. And we should keep doing that. But are we praising our own demeanment? Man. And someone will say, okay, what does praising look like? What does that mean? Well, we're buying the records, we're singing the songs, we're dancing, we're not checking each other. Girl, don't call me that. You got me something else. Or you call me that too much. Do you remember my name is Melissa? Understanding that our words have life and we're speaking those words. I don't know, y'all. This is deep. This is really deep. It's deep, but it's dear to my heart. So dear. So I'm a gangster. Again, there's more to us, but that's what's selling. That's what's selling. To the point that when there's an actor or musician or someone that doesn't portray that narrative, they're called a sellout. What do you mean? Your DNA, your lineage, who we are kings and queens. And if you don't understand that, we come from the backbones of people that have endured hardships and slavery. And let's talk about this. We're the only people on this entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise. Big question. I've never heard a song with a Holocaust survivor where they're demeaning Holocaust and they're praising and dancing and concentration camp. Like, no one's doing that. No one's singing about the Japanese encampment and they're singing about it, talking about Yep. I'm started from the encampment. Like, are you serious right now? And so that's what makes this quote so interesting, and it just hits. It sucker punches in the gut. Hang in there. We got more to unpack. I'm a thug. I'm a dog. Goes along with the same thing that I've just been saying. It's the same narrative. It's the same narrative. It's the same narrative. And unfortunately, I can't ignore the fact or ignore the possibility that this is the reason why some people in society, not all, but some people in society won't find value in my people. Now, here's the thing. Here's the disclaimer. Don't at me. You can. I'm not saying or giving a pass for any type of abuse, misuse, or anything else like that. But you have to move a conversation further when in any relationship. And right now, every culture has a relationship with America. Every culture. White people have a relationship with America. Black people have a relationship in America. And so if you're trying to get to the point of healing and getting to a healthy place, you got to look at and shine the light on both sides. And we already know the problem is exposed and known. That's not even, but there's very few people talking like Dr. Francis is talking. She says, if you can train people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever. I agree with her 100%. The sentiment of what she's saying, because I'm speaking about the African-American community as a whole. I'm not speaking about Melissa. I'm not speaking about Melissa's experience, because I can't sit up here and act like I live in a ghetto and it's hard out here for a pimp and all that. I can say that about some aspects of life, being a Black woman in America. But ultimately speaking, I'm speaking in a general sense about this quote, generally speaking, what she's saying, how legitimate is it? And I'm here to validate and say it's pretty legit. Like this, and this might be family reunion talk where we're talking and I'm like, you know what? We can't deny this. But are we valuing ourselves? Again, not negating their behavior. That's just a separate conversation. I'm talking in-house stuff right now. You can even program them to kill themselves and they won't even understand what happened. Do other races kill themselves? Absolutely. I am not speaking about other races right now. I see an epidemic. Are other cultures doing it? Absolutely. I'm not talking about that. But I would like to submit that we should not, and probably can't even deny that, socially speaking, let's talk family to family. If you're not Black and you're watching this video, you just in family time right now. You and the family. Let's talk. Let's be honest. Listening and reading those words, can we really, really deny that there's more positive that we are putting out than negative images? Are we uplifting ourselves more than we are demeaning? Are we shown in music, in media, on television? Are we reinforcing and praising positivity and laughing off the demeanment? Are we conscious of that? And family, I'm here to say, I think we're asleep. Are we all? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that quote struck me for a reason, and it struck my friend for a reason. So that tells me that we both see the same thing. And if we see the same thing, I'm sure that there's other people that see the same thing. Now, we could talk, and you definitely leave a comment down below. If you're like, okay, Melissa, what about this? Can you do a video on this? Absolutely. Leave a comment down below if you want to take this conversation further and you're like, okay, well, if you talked about that, I would like you to talk about this. Absolutely. I think I hit on all the points because I really just wanted to unpack her quote and how it had an impact on me and the way I see it was validated in our society. Ultimately, I would like you to leave a comment down below. If you watch the entire video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. First of all, do you agree with what the doctor was saying? Now, remember, these were not my words. These were Dr. Francis's words. Do you agree? And not only that, do you think that we are praising our demeanment more than we are uplifting? It definitely does not give a pass to anyone in their ill intent and ill behavior to anybody in any culture. Absolutely not.